Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for kicking off your Wednesday with us. I'm Justine Stewart.
And I'm Louis Storch. Hope you're having a good start to your Wednesday. And Justine, the main topic we've been talking about this week, obviously, is the dry weather, kind of cold weather moving in. And I mentioned a couple times that it's not really all that common to see this sort of pattern set up. The National Weather Service here in Missoula, though, is put out some interesting things. They said that the last time we saw this sort of big ridge high pressure system move in was back in 1999.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long time. It's not common for this time of year. And this is why we're going to see really dry weather for the next 7 to 10 days. However, it looks like by the end of next week, all right, next weekend is when we could start to see this break down. But until then, we're talking about dry conditions, highs only in the 20s and low 30s, at least for the valleys, and that's as we're going to get these inversions in place, which is also going to give us the possibility of some dense fog moving in. It looks like that's probably going to start tonight, and once it happens, we're going to stick with that pretty much through the weekend and into next week as well. Here's your high temperatures across parts of western Montana for today: 32 in Missoula, Kalispell, and Polson. We'll see 34 in Hamilton.
A jury ruled that the fall that killed a man in April was not an accident, convicting a Flathead Valley man of murder. Cecil Thomas Rice was charged with deliberate homicide in the death of Anthony Walters. Prosecutors say that Rice pushed Walters off the old steel bridge near Evergreen on April 26th. At the time, investigators said the water temperature in the river was 41 degrees and the current was moving extremely fast. Walter's body was found by boaters about 1.5 miles offshore from the mouth of the Flathead River. The jury heard closing arguments after a quick trial that started Monday before returning with a verdict around 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
She testified that the defendant was laughing and joking once they got back in the vehicle. He said, "I told him so, I told him so." And she testified that he admitted to her that he shoved Anthony over the bridge.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is an accident. Nothing more, nothing less. It's tragic that Anthony drowned and died. But this was an accident, and Cecil Rice is not a villain.
Rice's punishment will be determined at his sentencing hearing, which has not yet been sent. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke will recommend the Badger 2 medicine be given protection as a national monument. That announcement comes as Zinke is defending the Trump administration's move to dramatically trim the size of 2 monuments in Utah this week. Zinke went on the defense in a special press call responding to Trump's signing of a new executive order sharply reducing the set-aside for Bears Ears and Grand Staircase national monuments in southern Utah. Hundreds of protesters surrounded the president's visit to Salt Lake on Monday, with conservation groups and tribes immediately threatening legal action. Zinke released his final report on the monument changes and defending President Trump's actions, saying other presidents have followed a similar course and that there is no move to transfer public lands to the states, and that he had met with tribal leaders to discuss the changes. At the same time, Zinke said he'll recommend the Badger 2 medicine be given protection from development as a national monument, setting aside the area on the front immediately south of Glacier National Park for its cultural value to the Blackfeet tribe. The Montana Wilderness Association had a mixed reaction to Zinke's statements, saying while we do appreciate Secretary Zinke recommending national monument protection for the Badger 2 medicine, we find it reprehensible that he's doing so at the same time he's stripping protection from a place that is as sacred to 5 sovereign southwestern nations as the Badger 2 medicine is to the Blackfeet. A University of Montana professor, along with an attorney, now calling for transparency at UM by asking the school to provide public records and documents involving more than 9 budget cut meetings. They're raising questions about minutes that are not made available from the Academic Program and Administration Services Prioritization Task Force. It's a group who reviewed all 415 programs at UM in the span of a week. With so many programs to review in such a short time frame, Professor Mehrdad Kia is concerned about the overall process. He, along with his lawyer, also asking for documents identifying the anonymous reviewers who rated the 415 programs from strong to not suitable, adding if UM doesn't provide these records, then the program recommendations are invalid.
it hasn't been made public, and if it is not available, then we think that there may be illegality with respect to either open meetings or public participation or the right to know. And if there is, then these recommendations are void.
There is a reference to meetings that took place even in the provost office itself, for which there is no content, there is no substance. We want to know what happened in these meetings. We want to know what transpired, what was discussed, who voted.
A Montana state law says, quote, a person may request and make copies of public records from a public agency. Safe use of medication is becoming more and more a conversation. Much of that has been focused on responsible use of opioids, but now the health community is looking at antibiotics as well. A Montana hospital now looking at these prescriptions and how they can be used more effectively. MTN's Mackenzie Frost shows us one Montana hospital that is looking at how these prescriptions can be used more effectively.
Being sick can be uncomfortable at best, but getting an antibiotic for something that you might not need one for can be even worse.
When they're not used appropriately, it can cause more harm than good.
Antibiotic resistance is a growing concern nationwide.
We know that over 50% of outpatient prescriptions are prescribed inappropriately.
St. Peter's Health clinical pharmacist Taylor Sandvik says the resistance can cause more serious problems.
Certain bugs in our body can grow resistance to those antibiotics, and that's where we see the superbugs.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says over 2 million illnesses have been caused by these antibiotic resistances. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Skillman says our bodies have bacteria that maintain a good balance, so adding antibiotics unnecessarily might not help.
When you throw an antibiotic into that mixture, it kills a lot of those organisms, and that makes you susceptible to getting fungal infections, other viral infections, or just a terrible syndrome like diarrhea.
Usually antibiotics are used to treat bacterial, viral, or fungal infections, but not all viruses have an effective antibiotic.
Many of the cold viruses, for example, we don't have good treatment for that in the form of an antimicrobial agent.
St. Peter's Health has created a viral prescription for providers to give patients that explains the best over-the-counter medication based on their symptoms.
Your body will get better all by itself, and we can make you more comfortable.
The health community is working together to make at least one thing known to everyone.
Yeah, you can go ahead and fill it.
Antibiotics are not benign, and there are adverse effects to those.
In Helena, Mackenzie Frost, MTN News.
It's important to note that if you are experiencing symptoms for longer than a few days after taking over-the-counter medication, you should always consult a health professional. All right, it is time now for your weather on the 8th. Lewis is standing by with the latest.
All right, thank you, Justine. Good morning, everyone. I want to start off with this great picture sent in to us yesterday by Jerry. Turkeys everywhere. Look at that. Got them in the tree, got them on the ground, just coming out after Thanksgiving, so they're probably not worried about too much. But Jerry, thank you so much for this great photo that you sent in to us right here. And everyone, keep them coming, because I love seeing all the pictures that you send in each and every day. Quick look at the temperatures. Much cooler here in southwestern Montana. It's going to be a bit warmer, at least for the morning here in northwestern Montana. However, we're not going to see much difference between these lows and the high temperatures for today. So cloud cover overhead has kept northwestern Montana slightly warmer. You head further south where we have the clearing skies. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast, at least for today, with that fog that we've been talking about. Looks like to start to move in for tonight, and once it does, we're going to have chances of that all the way through next week. Let's go ahead and talk about our weather and some other weather happening across the country. To do this, we'll look at our Doppler network. Notice the big area of high pressure out west. That's where we're seeing the clear skies. Look at the big cold front that we can see. It's really cool to actually see these popping up on the map. You can see that line where the cold front is with the clouds, and then the rain showers off to the east, some lake effect snow here around the Great Lakes. But another thing that I want to point out, and it just goes into this whole thing we've been talking about with the high pressure, is notice the cloud movement as you head further west, as you head over the Pacific. Now we'll see how this cloud is moving from south to north. Perfect indication of that high pressure centered over the western part of the U.S. Air is going up and over this high pressure. So we have this situation here. You see this counterclockwise movement? That's a low pressure system. A lot of times these things during the winter time will make their landfall, bring us to rain and snow. However, with this blocking high, it's hitting this pattern, going up been over the top of us, and that's why we are going to remain dry for the next several days. Another term you're going to be hearing us toss around a lot is inversion. So what exactly does that mean? High pressure and sunshine on top of us. You get this warm layer in the middle, and this acts as a blocking mechanism, traps cold air, fog, and even pollution from cars and other things at the surface of the Earth, and it's not able to leave. And so that's what we are going to see, and that's why we're expecting this prolonged fog event, at least starting tonight and lasting into next week. Here's your 7-day forecast for Missoula. 32 today, 30 tomorrow, then highs in the 20s and dry through next week. Same thing for Kalispell, with temperatures dropping into the 20s by Thursday, and then Hamilton, we'll see temperatures in the lower 30s through Friday, and then upper 20s starting for the weekend.
Chilly forecast, looking
Yes.
cold, and unfortunately no snow.
I know, no
I'm still
snow.
holding out hope before Christmas.
I
though.
am too. This is just amazing. We talk about this high pressure. Looks like it's going to last at least through next weekend, and we'll start to get some breaking down. So hopefully it'll start to break down by Christmas week, and we'll get some
Yeah.
snow in there by then.
That'd
But
be good.
man, this is crazy.
All right, well, stick around because we will be right back after the break. But first, here's some birthdays for you this morning.